It's Sunday morning, another day of gaslighting and manipulation from forces far above our awareness that don't give us any idea or clue as to what the hell we are still doing here on this beautiful Sunday morning. Everyone's just going to and fro joyfully in agony because those two pendulums, they swing left to right, always going back and forth, negative to positive, because they can't just leave us the fuck alone. No, we have to be poked and prodded. So today is no different. It's just an ordinary day in this hell realm, prison planet, mindfuck, Loosh farm extraction, where we have to pretend that we don't know what we know. We have to pretend to get through another day of this hellscape, bullshittery, prison existence. And I'm on my way to something that I love, which is my slave job. And at least my slave job isn't entirely meaningless, as this existence is entirely meaningless to us, purposeless to us. But there is a meaning to all of this. And they want to keep you distracted for most of your day, all of your day, and all of your lifetime. Even when you come to this knowledge, they want you to be so bogged down with the cruelties and abominations of life that you want to distract yourself and entertain yourself and keep your mind away from these higher consciousness ideas and revelations, because it just takes too damn much energy away from your meaningless day. You have all these chores to do. You have all these desires to fulfill. Who has time to sit down and actually think and ponder and come up with reasons and answers and solutions to all of this? They won't give you a moment's peace. Think about yourself right now. How many mind programs and mind viruses and pushes and sways of this invisible force is happening to you right now? From the moment you woke up, and even all through the night, which you don't remember. I've been having many dreams, which I'm sure I always have dreams, but it's right there. I can remember them, and I remember some of them, little pieces, little bits of them, and I know I'm being fucked with in the night too. So there is not a moment of peace in this realm. And what I'm trying to say is, they want you obviously to be weak and confused and dazed and not have the time or energy to do anything that is meaningful, that is purposeful, and that is coming to the awareness of where we are and what is going on here. And the more you go into it, it does not make you feel happy. It does not make you feel joyful. It does not make you have a better existence here. At first, it destroys everything that you thought you knew, thought you were. It destroys any ideas, hopes, and anything you put into this world. It completely wipes it clean, because when you figure these things out and the more you go into it, the more you realize how much of a farce all of this is. All of it. This is worse than hell that they told you about. They have you blindly enjoying existing in such a low, despicable state of consciousness that you don't even realize it. And people glory in it. People love it. They love it. But I'm not trying to say it's their fault. So anyways, we gotta take accountability eventually. So these are just my Sunday morning ramblings on my way to work. And I wanted to say also that I appreciate all the comments and all the emails. And I'm sorry that I haven't had the time or the energy to properly respond to them all. And I normally do, but it's just been a lot on me in my energy levels. They are focused in other places. So I really appreciate all of the comments. And I read them all, and I have gotten a lot of great ones, a lot of great emails. And this further proves to me that each and every one of us has key vital pieces to this puzzle that we are all trying to figure out together. And each of our own experiences and revelations in our own personal lives are all valued. And no one is better or greater than anyone else. I don't give a fuck who you think you are or what you think you've done or experienced. We're all capable. We all have the power within ourselves to bring vital information for all of us. And at the end of the day, it doesn't matter what somebody else knows or somebody else can do or how much greater they think they are than you. All that matters is you. What are you going to do? How are you going to navigate this experience and into the next? How are you planning on doing this? That's all that matters. Anybody outside of yourself that's trying to lord over you in your life and make you weak and pathetic and belittle you, that's not going to work out too well if you believe that, or if you're following and hanging on to their every last word, thinking they're better than you. No. So we all have work to do, sure, but we all hold vital pieces to the puzzle. We're all unique individual consciousness, and we're all capable of great things. But it does take work, and it does take diverting your attention back to yourself into what really matters, and not necessarily making your life better here, but accessing greater realms of consciousness and awareness, and being able to continually go towards the truth, no matter how dark or how bad it makes you feel, because that is what's going to set you free. That's what's going to free you. And it's hard. So I would like to possibly go live eventually and talk to some of you, any of you who want to share your experiences, who want to express how you feel and what you think and your solutions. Because from the things that I've read from people, these ideas and these thoughts and these experiences need to be shared, because they're vital pieces, and we all hold those vital pieces. And looking at what I've seen from this realm in my own personal life and in those around me, it's not going to end well for anyone here. It doesn't even begin well. I don't care how comfortable you think you are. Once you realize where you are and what's been done to you and what you're fucking doing day in and day out, it's pathetic. Absolutely pathetic. I think the best thing we could do with our time is continually reach for that truth and remember why we're here. Why are we here? I think we're fucking trapped here. Obviously, we didn't choose to come here. And if we did choose to come here, it was obviously against either our will, because we need full knowing to fully consent. I don't care what people say about consent. Consent means you freely chose something, knowing full well what it was and the consequences thereof. If you were lied to and manipulated, that does not equal consent. That's not consent. When a child gets lured into a van because they wanted candy from a stranger, that is not consent. That is abuse and manipulation and deceit, lies, to get you. You consented to the candy. You didn't consent to all the other bullshit that was a consequence of you believing a narcissistic psychopathic predator. You didn't consent to that. You didn't. So I don't know where people get this idea of what consent is and what consent isn't. You were manipulated. If you had your full awareness and all your memories and you were standing in your full power, knowing exactly what this consensual agreement entails, you wouldn't do it. Unless you're just well, danger's my middle name. I want to do it anyways, okay, whatever. But I'm rolling up to work right now. I thought, I have a lot to talk about, especially with what's going on with my friend who's literally on his deathbed. And I spent some time with him last night, and it was just tragic, terrible to see someone in that amount of pain and suffering. And literally, it's a toothpick. And through all that pain and suffering, his heart, even though he's an ignorant fool, as I've said before, his heart is still in the right place. And he's loving and kind through it all. And you have completely able-bodied people who are veterans as well, who are older, blah, 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 but they're still fully able-bodied. I don't even want to get into it because I don't want to talk like that. But it's bad out there. It is bad out there. And to be isolated and confined away from actual suffering because you have the luxuries of being able to do that does not negate any of it. And this man told me that he lived 9 months on the street. 9 months on the street. And every day was absolute torture and horror. Absolutely. And you have millions of people living like that. And he said that even though he's misguided, his heart is still in the right place. As I've said, he prays every night for the homeless because he experienced it. He experienced it. And he knows the absolute horrors and tragedy and suffering that is. And you have millions of people like that. Maybe more. Yeah, I'm sure more in the whole world. And they use his misguided good intentions for evil. They suck his loosh every time he prays because obviously what is happening to these people? Nothing's being done. And he told me that from that experience, even though he has absolutely nothing now, He's extremely grateful for having a roof over his head, a ice box to keep his food cold. All he has in his apartment are wheelchairs for seats, and he apologized for that. But gosh darn it, he said that he's grateful for the little that he has. And he's literally, he's in a room with no furniture, just wheelchair. We had to make a table to play poker because that's what he wanted to do, to get his mind off of things and have a good time. And even though he was losing, he said, I don't care if I win or lose. I'm just having a good time hanging out with my friends. And his hospice nurse called him and he had to decide whether he wanted to be picked up and go in the hospital or stay where he is. And he said that I'm surrounded by great people right now, and I'm choosing to stay here. How wonderful is that? But how tragic is that? He also said that he can't smoke and drink in the hospital. So, oh man. So another thing, I don't know how someone can just survive off of drinking beer alone. That's all he drinks. But can you blame him for being in so much pain? For being basically treated like the shit stain of this God in society. And still, through all that, he has a heart of gold. So, I'm at work now, so I gotta go. But just wanted to share that. Thank you for all the comments. Thank you for all the great emails and whatnot. And I'd love to talk more. And if you're interested in maybe hopping on a live stream, or, you know, if you want me to read something that you've experienced, I'd love to do that too, because we all have these puzzle pieces that we all need to work together, and we're all valuable. We're all equals, even though in these meat suits and in our own traumas and sufferings and what's been done to us, it may seem like there's lesser than, but once you're out of this body, all that goes away. Once you get your true self back, none of that matters. It was all a deception to think of you as less than, to think of you as not as great as the next person so that you give your power away to somebody else. Well, I'm telling you, you are just as good as I am. Just as good as I am. As long as you have your heart in the right place. And if you don't, you can change that. Some are incapable of changing that. And to those, I don't know if they're like us or not. I've seen the evil that they have done and what they're capable of, and I don't think they're like us, especially those in power in this world. So they're a lost cause. They've come from a different place. They're probably from here and ruled by the entities here, but we're not ruled by them. They want us to think that we're ruled by them, but we're not. So this is me encouraging you to keep going, and let's all work together and getting the fuck out of here, because they want us divided. They want us arguing with each other, getting nowhere. So if anyone wants to come together, this is the channel for that, and I want to hear about you, and let's talk about coming up with solutions together.